Best comment gets pinned. But before you type anything, let's talk about why certain rumors never disappear, no matter how many times they're denied, ignored, or debunked. Because once the internet chooses a story, it doesn't let go easily. And today's story centers on one of the most powerful names in music history, Beyoncé. For decades, Beyoncé has been presented as flawless, vocally, visually, professionally. She's the gold standard, the blueprint, the definition of control in an industry built on chaos. And ironically, that perfection is exactly why the internet keeps circling her like it's searching for something hidden, because the internet doesn't trust perfection. Now, let's be clear from the start. What we're discussing today is not proven fact. These are online rumors, fan theories, and speculation pulled from public moments that gossip pages and commentary channels love to recycle. We're breaking down the story people tell, not declaring truth. And that story usually begins with this question: how did Beyoncé rise so fast and stay there so long? That's where curiosity turns into suspicion. Online, Beyoncé isn't just a singer. She's viewed as part of a power structure. Alongside Jay-Z, she represents influence, money, connections, and longevity. And when people look at power, they assume deals were made behind closed doors. That assumption fuels everything. It's why old clips suddenly resurface. Why award show reactions from 15 or 20 years ago are analyzed like crime footage. Why every collaboration becomes a headline waiting to happen. One of the first names that always gets dragged into the conversation is Terrence Howard. Why? Because there's an old performance moment that fans still replay, zooming in on his facial expression, slowing it down, reading into body language. Some say he looked mesmerized. Others say it was just admiration. But gossip pages treat that moment like evidence of something deeper, even though nothing was ever confirmed. Then there's Sean Paul, whose collaboration with Beyoncé on Baby Boy remains iconic. Over the years, internet users have speculated about why they didn't perform together often after its success. Was it scheduling, creative direction, label decisions, or was there tension? No one outside those rooms knows, but speculation fills the silence, and silence is dangerous online. Once those names enter the chat, the internet expands the cast. Suddenly, people mention Justin Timberlake, Cisco, Marcus Houston, Pharrell Williams, not because of confirmed relationships, but because proximity equals suspicion in gossip culture. The logic goes like this: they were around each other, something must have happened. That's how rumors survive without proof. But the heart of this entire narrative always leads back to Jay-Z. Jay-Z is portrayed online as the strategist, the man with the keys to the industry, older, more connected, more powerful. And because Beyoncé met Jay-Z young, people constantly debate the power dynamics of their relationship. Was it love? Business? Both? The internet doesn't want nuance. It wants answers that fit a dramatic script. Then came the moment that truly changed everything: the elevator incident involving Solange and Jay-Z. That footage became internet mythology. Despite public statements saying the family worked through it, the internet decided there was more. Theories exploded. Speculation multiplied. And when Beyoncé later released Lemonade, fans treated the album like a confession, breaking down lyrics, identifying villains, searching for clues. That's how Becky with the good hair became a global mystery. And that's how Rachel Roy found herself at the center of an online firestorm, whether she wanted to be or not. Her social media was flooded, accusations flew, and it proved one thing: Beyoncé's fandom doesn't just support her, they mobilize. Which brings us to 50 Cent. 50 Cent's reputation online is simple: he's unfiltered, unpredictable, and enjoys stirring conversations. So when gossip pages suggest he's about to expose the industry, people listen, even when nothing concrete has been said, because the idea of exposure is addictive. And here's the real question we need to ask: what if the biggest scandal isn't about Beyoncé at all, but about how badly the internet wants powerful women to fall? Because the same narrative, she slept her way to the top, she traded favors, she's not who you think, has followed successful women for decades. Beyoncé is just the biggest target yet, and once that narrative takes hold, it doesn't need facts. It just needs repetition. If you're still watching, like this video, share it, and subscribe to I Love Gossip, because next we're breaking down how gossip turns speculation into truth and why certain names never escape these cycles. Here's how online rumors evolve, step by step. First, a real event happens, then someone interprets it emotionally, then a commentary channel adds dramatic language, then social media repeats it, then suddenly, it's treated like common knowledge. This is exactly how the Beyoncé narrative keeps recycling. Let's take Sean Paul again. Publicly, he's said he respected Beyoncé and enjoyed working with her. But gossip culture focuses on moments where things didn't happen. Missed performances, awkward transitions, technical issues. Those gaps become filled with imagination. Then you have award show politics. People believe award shows aren't just celebrations, they're negotiations. So when Beyoncé wins big, critics say it's favoritism. When she loses, they say it's a setup. Either way, conspiracy wins. Now add industry commentary figures like Jaguar Wright, who often speaks critically about famous artists. Whether you agree with her or not, her statements spread fast because they confirm suspicions people already have. Confirmation bias does the rest. Then there are so-called insiders, former bodyguards, assistants, acquaintances who claim they saw things. Sometimes they provide no evidence, but the internet treats proximity as credibility. And that's how speculation becomes dangerous, because the line between opinion and accusation gets blurred. Jay-Z's cheating, something publicly acknowledged in art and interviews, gets stretched into theories about control, manipulation, and image management. Beyoncé becomes either a victim or a mastermind, depending on which version the viewer prefers. And here's the twist. Both versions strip her of humanity. Either she's powerless or she's ruthless. Rarely is she allowed to be human. Now let's talk about fandom. The Bayhive is one of the most powerful fan bases on the planet. That level of loyalty scares people and also invites backlash. Critics feel silenced, detractors feel attacked, and that tension feeds the rumor machine. Every time someone criticizes Beyoncé, it becomes a battle. Every time someone defends her, it becomes proof she's protected. It's a cycle. And 50 Cent? He thrives in cycles like this. He doesn't need to accuse anyone. He just needs to post at the right moment and let the internet argue for him. That's power too. So when people say 50 Cent is exposing Beyoncé, what they really mean is the internet wants a villain, and 50 fits the role of narrator. But narration isn't evidence, and gossip isn't truth. Here's the uncomfortable truth about celebrity culture in the internet age. People don't just watch stars anymore, they study them. Every movement, every silence, every collaboration becomes a clue. And when someone reaches a level of fame as massive as Beyoncé's, curiosity doesn't stop at admiration. It turns into obsession, and obsession always demands a story. That's why this narrative refuses to disappear, because Beyoncé represents something rare, longevity without visible chaos. In an industry where scandals are almost expected, her ability to control her image feels unnatural to people. And whenever something feels unnatural, the internet assumes it must be fake. So instead of asking, how did she do it? The internet asks, what are we not being told? That's the seed. From there, everything grows. The rumors don't survive because they're proven. They survive because they're convenient explanations for success that feels unreachable to the average person. It's easier to believe power is traded than to believe discipline, strategy, and relentless work can produce that level of dominance for decades. And Beyoncé isn't just dominant, she's consistent. Consistency makes people uncomfortable because consistency suggests control. And control, especially in women, gets questioned. Now, let's talk about why Jay-Z is always pulled into this narrative. Jay-Z is not just Beyoncé's husband, he's a symbol of industry power. Labels, partnerships, investments, influence. When people see Beyoncé next to him, they assume leverage is involved. They frame their relationship not as a marriage, but as a merger. That framing alone reshapes every rumor. If Beyoncé wins, it's because of Jay. If Jay stumbles, it's because of Beyoncé. If they succeed together, it's calculated. If they struggle, it's damage control. There's no neutral ground, and that's why even publicly acknowledged struggles, like infidelity, which both address through art and interviews, don't end the conversation. They expand it. Because once the public believes it's allowed to look behind the curtain, it keeps digging. That's how the elevator incident with Solange became more than a family moment. It became a symbol. People didn't just ask what happened. They asked why it happened, who caused it, what it revealed. They analyzed body language. They froze frames. They read lips. And when the family asked for privacy, the internet interpreted that as confirmation that something bigger was being hidden. Because silence online is never neutral. Silence is interpreted as strategy. Now layer Beyoncé's artistic silence on top of that. She doesn't do long interviews. She doesn't jump on podcasts to explain herself. She doesn't address rumors directly. She lets the work speak. That approach used to be respected. Today, it's suspicious. Why? Because the internet believes transparency means oversharing. If you don't explain yourself, people will explain you, loudly and incorrectly. That's how lyrics from Lemonade became evidence, not metaphors, not emotional expression, evidence. Fans turned poetic lines into timelines, timelines into suspects, suspects into villains. And suddenly, people who were never accused of anything publicly were being dragged into comment sections and hashtags. That moment proves something powerful. Beyoncé doesn't just have fans, she has a force, and forces scare people, especially critics. So backlash becomes inevitable. Now let's address the role of commentary figures, because this is where gossip crosses into dangerous territory. There are individuals online, cultural commentators, former insiders, outspoken personalities who make bold claims about celebrities. Some speak from lived experience, others speak from frustration, some speak from clout chasing. The problem is the internet doesn't distinguish between those motivations. Once a claim fits an existing narrative, it spreads. Names like Jaguar Wright get amplified because her commentary aligns with what certain audiences already believe about the music industry, that it's dark, manipulative, and exploitative. And while the industry absolutely has a history of exploitation, that truth gets misused to justify unverified claims about specific people. And once those claims are repeated enough, people stop asking where they came from. They just say, everybody knows. Now let's talk about 50 Cent's role in all of this, because it's often misunderstood. 50 Cent doesn't need to accuse anyone directly to have impact. His power comes from timing and ambiguity. A post, a caption, a reaction. He understands internet psychology better than most artists. He knows controversy fuels engagement. He knows silence fuels speculation. And he knows how to sit in the middle of both. So when gossip pages suggest that 50 is about to expose someone, what they're really saying is, people want a moment. They want a turning point. They want confirmation that their suspicions were right all along. But anticipation doesn't equal truth. And here's where things get uncomfortable again. A huge portion of this narrative rests on a gendered assumption that women cannot reach power without compromise. That if a woman is admired by powerful men, something transactional must be happening. That if she navigates male-dominated spaces successfully, she must be using something other than skill. Men don't get that framing. A man who networks is ambitious. A woman who networks is suspicious. A man who marries up is smart. A woman who marries up is strategic. That double standard is the silent engine behind many of these rumors. Now ask yourself this, if Beyoncé were messy publicly, constant interviews, public feuds, oversharing, Would people trust her more? Probably. But she chose control instead. And control makes people uneasy, because control denies access, and denial breeds resentment. That resentment shows up as questions. Those questions turn into theories. Those theories turn into exposés, even when nothing new is revealed. That's why this story never ends, because it's not about Beyoncé doing something shocking. It's about the internet wanting her to. Now let's zoom out one last time. Celebrity culture has changed. We no longer wait for journalists. We no longer wait for courts. We no longer wait for facts. We crowdsource judgment in real time. Likes become verdicts. Comments become evidence. Silence becomes guilt. And once someone is framed as possibly hiding something, every future action gets filtered through that suspicion. That's the real danger. Not that rumors exist. Rumors always exist, but that they become permanent lenses. And for Beyoncé, that lens now exists whether she acknowledges it or not. Yet here's the irony. Despite all the speculation, all the theories, all the commentary, Beyoncé's career hasn't collapsed. Her tours sell out. Her albums dominate. Her influence remains intact. And that fact alone frustrates critics even more, because if the rumors were truly damaging, wouldn't something have fallen by now? That contradiction keeps the cycle alive. Some people want vindication, some want exposure, some want downfall, some want confirmation, and the internet feeds all of them. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with a choice as viewers. We can enjoy drama without treating it as truth. We can analyze culture without destroying people. We can acknowledge industry darkness without inventing villains. Because gossip is entertainment, but accusations shape lives. And the line between the two matters. If you stayed with me until the end, like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel, I Love Gossip. Your support keeps these deep dives coming, dramatic, thoughtful, and responsible. Now I want your honest take in the comments. Do you think Beyoncé's privacy fuels these rumors? Or do you think the internet simply struggles with powerful women who don't explain themselves? Either way, this story isn't ending anytime soon, and neither is the conversation.